What's up, folks? I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about God and what that means to me. So, a student asked that on Instagram. Like when you say the G-D word, that's how they wrote it in text. What does that mean to you? And then I shared that with y'all on Instagram. And I asked, would anybody like to hear more about this topic? And there was an overwhelmingly positive response to that. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about it. When I was a kid, I used to pray. And I didn't think about God as like some kind of like figure that's going to like send me to hell or, you know, strike me down if I don't behave. But it was more like somebody who like really cared about me that I could talk to anytime. That's sort of how I looked at it. And when I started getting into trouble when I was pretty young, taking drugs and drinking and all that and causing mischief, uh, I kind of stopped talking to this, inner guide. I like to call it the inner knower. I stopped having conversations with that part of me because it's a part of me. It's not like something outside of me. It's like talking to my higher self. That's why I like the word inner guide. Like the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. It's the same. They're parts of you, if that makes sense. Anyways, I kind of ignored that part of me and made a lot of challenging decisions in life situations for years, and I'm still learning. But when I got sober, about I don't know, 6 years ago or something, I went to treatment for the first time when I was 20, and I'm 43, and now I'm just getting the hang of it. I've had 6 years coming up next month in a row without any stumbles, as long as I've ever gone, and I intend to keep going. But something that I've learned doing yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and other yogas, I studied a lot with Sri Dharma Mitra, is that like showing up every day on the mat as a form of prayer helps me to stay in touch with that voice. And I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I say the wrong things. Whatever it might be. But that connection in the morning as part of the practice is really important. And sometimes I lose sight of that, and I'm sure you can relate. Sometimes I think like it's about getting poses or impressing teachers or ticking boxes or whatever it is. But ultimately, for me, it's like getting in touch with that inner guide. And then, if you expand that lens a little bit, you recognize that like everybody has access to that inner guide, and they relate to it in their own way. Kind of like in AA, it's like doesn't matter what your higher power is. The fact is that you need to connect to something that is an access point for you to get in touch with you. Because there are so many distractions and programs that take us out of that. So, what does God mean to me? It has nothing to do with religion. It's like whatever helps you to get in touch with that voice of the inner guide. And Ashtanga yoga helps me with that. Hatha yoga helps me with that. Time in nature helps me with that. Music helps me with that. Art, film, spending time with people I love, laughing, whatever it might be. Whatever connects you with that inner guide. That's spiritual practice. And I really find it effective to access it through the body, especially through the breath and through the body. And the practices we do give us the opportunity to do that, to experience that. But be aware, because there is a side of it too that can be a distraction from that. So I always remember the sutra that says tapasvadhyaya ishvara pranidhana kriya yoga. And that means there's going to be heat to burn away that the rigidity, the heaviness, the doubt. There's got to be enough heat and discipline to do that. And then there's got to be study, a willingness to show up and to learn and to listen and to be receptive. That's the swadhyaya. And then the Ishvara Pranidhana is like really listening to the inner guide. and that's faith. And sometimes we're not paying attention and we're not listening, and we'll be guided to listen, and that's grace. And then kriya means like it's got to be put into action, and in doing that you'll experience yoga. So those are some insights on God in the practice. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you in the shala soon. Peace.